Okay, let's do this. So I'm trying to put this video together, but I'm actually honestly having a lot of difficulty trying to do it. There's basically 3 giant stories I'm trying to get out as briefly as I can, but I'm finding it near impossible to do. Not to mention I'm at a part of my life where I don't want to be in front of a camera on social media. I'm piecing my life back together basically after a lot of what's happened to me, which I'll touch on shortly. But yeah, to get to the main purpose of this video, there's 2 dearly deserving people in a situation that's becoming more and more desperate for them. Now those 2 people are Cheryl and her daughter Mackenzie Tamala. Now Mackenzie suffers from a neurological movement disorder. She's only 11 years old. This disorder is called dystonia. You've likely not heard of it before because awareness around it is severely lacking, even though it's actually the 3rd most common movement disorder after essential tremor and Parkinson's disease. It's a devastating disorder, and it's also one that to this day a cause and cure is still widely unknown. I'll share some footage here that Cheryl has sent me, and this footage, it's confronting for a lot of people, myself included, but please know this isn't a sob story or to make people feel guilty in any way whatsoever. This is, as I said, this is just for a slither of awareness of what a life of this entails. Mackenzie suffers daily and nightly from this condition, and even though she's the bravest girl in the world for going through this, and she can still bear the most beautiful smile in the world, as a lot of people that know them are well familiar with, she's also in a consistent state of suffering. She's basically one of the worst cases in Australia, and her form of dystonia is generalised, which means it runs through her entire body, giving her spasms and muscle contractions through every limb in her body and even her face. And to put lightly, it's incredibly fatiguing, and depending on the different days or nights of severity of these muscle contractions, they're also very painful. She's actually had 3 brain surgeries before the age of 10 years old. She was diagnosed very young, before she was even 5. And even these deep brain stimulation surgeries, they've malfunctioned and they've had wires come loose and even broken, and they've had to go in and have repeat surgeries. So I'm only just scratching the surface there. It's pretty huge. She even has a baclofen pump inserted which runs up along her spine, and what that is, that's prescription medication that gets internally injected to help control her muscle contractions and muscle spasms. Now she has episodes of worse times and episodes of better times, but for the most part it's a very difficult life that they live. Now all of this stuff that they're doing, it fails to be effective. It helps to a degree, but it's not very good. As you can see, Mackenzie's outgrowing her van, and this is the whole purpose of this video, is that they need help with getting a new disability van. On top of this, Mackenzie's also outgrown her wheelchair, and she needs a bigger wheelchair, but they actually have a wheelchair ready to go and lined up, but they can't actually use it, and they really need to use it now because it's having an impact on Mackenzie's spine and a lot of other issues, but they can't do that until they get a new van. So there's a bit of a predicament here for them. And the impact and implications of not having a disability van just can't be expressed enough. They depend on this van on so many levels, just from something as little as, which isn't a little thing at all, just getting out of the house, getting out of the 4 walls that they're in for their mental health and well-being, for getting to all the appointments and therapies that a condition like this requires and demands, the hospital runs that they often do. Cheryl can't leave the house without Mackenzie. Getting to the supermarket just for milk or toilet paper. All of these things that seem small to us are huge to them and an actual block when they don't have their disability van. This van is their lifeline. They can't be without it. And the tragic thing is, we can't help Mackenzie with her physical state or suffering right now, but we can absolutely help them with this van, which can be realised as a beautiful thing, but this will not be realised as a beautiful thing if we don't start to see action and involvement from all of us. Cheryl is a single mum and a full-time, around-the-clock carer for Mackenzie. Generating income to acquire this van simply isn't achievable from the position she's in. They need $55,000 to get their van that they're calling their Forever Wheels. And just now on this point of help, I cannot forget to remind everyone how much support that Cheryl still offers the community, even with all that she struggles with. She supports other families that have had deep brain surgeries and similar conditions, and though she's still squeezing to make ends meet and still falls greatly short to cover her and Mackenzie's own needs, she still chips in and donates to help other people's causes. All this, and she's even caretaking for other patients with different conditions as well. A few months ago, Cheryl and Mackenzie had their story aired on a national news station. Over 35,000 people seen their story and predicament, but at the time, it actually only equated to about $400 being raised. this is a good example of what inaction can do. It's people seeing it, but not doing anything. This is where we really need to band together and help these guys out. At this point in time, it's not the amount that you're able to donate or give, it's the number of people taking action, and it's what we're not seeing at the moment. Also, where I'm trying to come in and help these guys, and I guess I'll start by introducing myself. My name's Jason Lynch, and I was diagnosed with dystonia 2.5 years ago. Dystonia completely blindsided me. I was 33 years old at the time. It just devastated everything that my life was, even to the point where it had me crippled on the floor. Basically, as you can see, it was relentless around the clock. Now you're probably, and understandably, wondering why I look so stable right now. So to try and crunch 2.5 years into a paragraph, and to put it lightly, I've been through some very dark times, both physically and mentally, not to mention the powerful pain that a condition like this can cause. But I am one of the very few that's gone against what neurologists and Western medicine had sentenced me to. But again, to put it lightly, through a lot of hard work and actual blood, sweat, tears, finance, just about everything you can think of, I have seen a recovery of more than 90%. Now this is a heartbreaking, inspiring, fascinating, incredible story of my own, but for the purpose of this video, this is actually something that I need to brush over. Today, this video is about Mackenzie and helping her out. And though Mackenzie and myself share this same neurological disorder, there is an underlying difference between our two cases. And I've shared this in more detail on our chuffed.org fundraiser page, which I'll have an attached link along with this video somewhere. So to fast forward to today and to find myself at this point of recovery, I'm honestly just trying to wrap my own head around all of this, what the hell's happened to me. But to put it one way, it has been an incredible feat. And as such, there is now an opportunity that presents itself to me, which brings me to the third giant story in all of this. I have an Australian friend, Lucy Bernard, who has also seen her share of trauma and setbacks in life. She's been hit by a car, suffered paralysis, was told that she mightn't walk again, along with head injuries and stuttering when she tried to talk. She's able to walk again, but to skim over her background and story, currently she's on the other side of the planet, attempting to be the first woman to walk the length of the earth. To a lot of people hearing this for the first time, this probably sounds pretty crazy, as it is incredible. I think it's an even mix of the both. But to give you a visual of what she's been up to, I'll quickly run this short news clip for you.
My next guest has taken the concept of a walking holiday to a whole new level. Australian Lucy Barnard is 1 year into her attempt to walk the length of the world. Let's show you her journey. Starting at the bottom of Argentina, it's going to take her at least several more years to cover 30,000 kilometres across 15 countries. Her walk will eventually finish in North America at the highest point of Alaska. Now, if she makes it, Lucy will be the first woman in history to do so. A remarkable effort going on there.
So a pretty mammoth adventure she's gotten herself into here, and she's actually 2.5 years into this expedition. I have an invite to join her, and I'm up for the challenge, absolutely. But this is no leisurely hike, and to skip forward and to loop this back into helping Mackenzie out, to add some fun and extra inspiration to all of this, I'm asking those willing to come on board beyond a regular donation and to spur things on even further for Mackenzie and pledge $1 for each kilometre that I walk. All these details, the length of my walk, how many weeks I'll be joining Lucy for, are all listed and explained on the fundraiser page. But what I will explain right now is because none of us have any idea how many kilometres I'll end up walking. I know there are people that are wanting to pledge, and I don't want to deter people or put anyone off that might not be able to afford, say, more than $100 or $150, for example. And for this reason, people's pledges will be capped to whatever dollar amount you can afford. Again, this detail and how to officially make a pledge is clearly listed and easy to do by heading over to our fundraiser page. And that's it for now. From here, it's your own individual action. Please take 2 minutes to do yours. Mackenzie deserves it and so much more. So with big love and big hearts, please share the hell out of this for Mackenzie and Cheryl, and most of all, hit that donate button. Thank you so much for watching, for getting through this with me, for getting involved, sharing any generosity you can for these girls. Honestly, I can't express how non-negotiable and crucial this van is to almost every aspect of their lives. We can lift this burden from them. We can turn this situation around. Let's give them the helping hand they deserve.